I'm here with Andrea to ask her a couple of questions about her culture. Andrea, can you start off by telling us where you're from?
I'm actually from Colombia.
Okay, and how long did you live in Colombia?
I lived there for about 6 years.
Okay, and how long have you lived in the States?
About 12.
Okay, how important is personal space in your culture?
Personal space is really not that big of a deal because we're really like friendly, just like starting off.
Okay, and how does that differ from the culture in America?
I think it's really, I mean, it's different in the beginning because starting off it's like individualistic and just kind of like, you kind of do your own thing.
Okay, and how do these interactions vary uh, between the two cultures with older people, younger people, and the opposite sex?
I think it's really similar because, with the older people, we treat them more formally. The younger people, we use the slangs. And with the different sex, it's just, the same.
Okay, and are there any ways that Americans violate the norm when it comes to personal space?
I really think a big thing is just in the greetings because we normally do a hug or a kiss, and then I think the Americans are more likely to, like, do a handshake.
Okay.
Starting off.
Okay, Andrea, thank you very much for answering my questions. Okay, I'm gonna ask you guys a couple questions about your culture. If you'd start off by saying your name and what country you're from, maybe your major.
Sure. I'm Yomi. I'm from Nigeria. I'm a base grad student.
Okay.
I'm Andre. I'm a management information system student. I'm from Israel.
I'm Jimin Gao. I'm from China, and I'm a mathematics student.
Okay, and how long did you guys live in your country and in the States? And how long have you lived in the States?
I've probably spent about 18, 20 years in my country.
Okay.
I think altogether, because I've been in the States a lot of times for holidays back and forth, but the longest I've been in the States is probably about two and a half years.
Okay.
I was born in Russia. My family moved when I was 10 to Israel. I lived in Israel for 15 years, minus some Europe here and there. And then I've been living in the States for the last 6 years almost.
Very nice.
Well, I spent most of my life in China, and this is the first year I'm in America.
Okay, and if y'all could talk about how personal space in America and personal space in y'all's countries vary, kind of among the ages and the sexes.
Well, I'd say in my country, people are a lot, I wouldn't say a lot friendlier, but they're a lot closer. There is no, I've seen you before, we've said hello before, you're automatically my friend.
Okay.
It's just, I'm not gonna see you in the bar and just ignore you like, oh, I know that guy, but we don't talk, so I'm not gonna say anything. It's more like, I've seen you in one class I took in high school.
Yeah.
I know that guy.
Yeah.
Just go say hello, and that's it. We're like that close. But here, it's more like if it's nicer. People are nicer here, but you have to be if you don't approach them or if they don't approach you, it's a little bit. If they're nice and you're willing to talk, then there's a connection. Then we get to share. We get to that personal space is much closer. But if it's like, say, within girls in my country, girls are a lot closer. Here, I don't know how it really works. Girls are like, I know you. If you say hello and I respond nicely, then we're cool. If I don't, then we're not cool. It means something's wrong, or I dated your ex-boyfriend or something. Like, that's the way. But guys don't really care as much. They just.
No, I agree totally.
Yeah. So that's how it is.
You guys?
In Israel, the culture is a lot warmer. In business settings, it's about the same as in Europe or in the States. In social settings, people are generally, would greet each other with a hug, and so men to men would be a hug. Males to females it's a hug and one kiss, right? Girls also would be a hug and one kiss. So when we meet with the South Americans, the second kiss always confuses everyone. Generally, let's say I came in and my friend brought their friend with them, right? And we'll hang out somewhere. So when I greet them, their friend, we would just have a handshake and if we, let's say, hang out for an hour, just told stories and whatnot, we'll say goodbye with a hug, at least, right? So the connections are very immediate, very, and then that's it. I mean, nobody really. You can't expect people to just respect your huge, personal space. You have to. You have to know that other people will always exist in it.
Interesting.
Well, in China, it seems different from Israel because for young boys and girls, it's okay. I know you, but we will never shake hands or hugs because it's too close. We just say hi when we meet. And for mid-aged people in the company or in the school, teachers, they will shake hands with each other. That is kind of to be polite. And for China, there are a lot of people, so it is crowded, and it seems you cannot have the real too much personal spaces. That is for people who stay in a small dormitory in the college. Or the American students have their own bedroom in their home. Well, just people in China do not get too much personal spaces as they wish, or we can pay it. It's expensive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, last question: are there any ways that Americans violate the norm when it comes to personal space? Something might not be acceptable in y'all's country, or just comes off kind of weird.
I guess I can go first. It's not per se a violation, right? But Americans could be pretty loud in a bar, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, they don't want people to actually approach them and hang out with them and treat them as their friends. So that's a little bit of a contradiction, but nobody really cares.
Okay, makes sense. Either one of you guys got?
I would say it's not enough.
Okay, elaborate a little bit.
I'd say because where I'm from, just because the small group of people are at a party or at a bar and they're, say for example, they're loud. It's more attracting where just because those people are more fun, everyone's willing to go join them, and they themselves are open to have more people because then they're louder. So
Okay.
it's a lot more fun when you have more people
Yeah.
who are willing to be in the same mood that you're in. So if we're 5 of us, we're having fun, we're screaming as loud as we want, the DJ's giving us the great music.
Yeah.
If 5 other people come and join us, yeah, we're excited because now we're louder.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's like we're the soul of the party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think
Well,
about that.
I would talk something different. For you play basketball?
Occasionally.
Well, if you play basketball, when you offense or defense, you need to touch the players or even push them, or this is to be aggressive, right? So
Okay.
it means that you got less personal spaces, or just to be aggressive. But for our students, especially in the library, if you are the first to sit in this desk, and you own this desk for the whole day, and no one will come to you, or because all your friends, if they do not know you, they won't come to study with you. But in China, we can just share this desk by 4 people.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Interesting way of putting it. Well, hey guys, thank y'all very much for answering my questions, and that's about it.